Grail, welcome back to South Africa, and this is South African Prepper. So, as a prepper and a person that is preparing, you always have to try and find bits of information, firstly in the area where you live, then in your country, and then global news, so you can try and see what is going on, because everything that happens has got a consequence. And everything that happens in your area, in your country, around the world, eventually flows down, trickles down, and has an impact on your normal everyday life. So, one of the stories that I picked up was the price cap that was placed on Russian oil. And it's very interesting because when there's an action against Russia, there's always a reaction from Russia. So the reaction from Russia, and it will have an big impact on the world economy, is that Russia said it's fine, you can cap us at $60 per barrel, but it's simple. If you want to buy Russian oil, you'll start paying in gold. So Putin actually said that yes, you can buy at $60 a barrel, but you're going to have to pay me 1 gram of gold per barrel. So it's interesting how the Russian thing is going to allow the Petro Dollar to totally collapse, because America buys Russian oil. Can you believe it? Europe buys Russian oil. And now they're going to have to start paying in 1 grams of gold per barrel. So very interestingly, we've been studying the cycles of a country, and it doesn't matter what country you're in, you're going to follow more or less the same pattern. Is that in South Africa, for an example, because this is where we live and we can speak from experience, is that after 1994, when the democratic dispensation started, we went through a time of peace, okay, from 1994 up until, let's say, more or less 2010, where things were fairly peaceful. There wasn't a lot happening. Businesses were growing, the economy was growing, and then your country starts going through a cycle. So the first step is peace, the second step is tyranny, and then the last piece of the cycle is the revolution. So it doesn't matter where you are, if you're in England or America. I believe America is very close to a revolution. You can actually, if you look at the American news, you can sense the revolution is in the air. And it's the same in South Africa. We've been under tyranny from our government for many years now. And it is all bottlenecking into a revolution. Now in South Africa, the revolution is literally going to be tribe against tribe. Okay? Because they wanted to build a rainbow nation, they took all different parts, threw them in a can, and they shook them together. And in a revolution, you actually find that people start to separate. People go and look for their own people. Okay? I will go look for my own people so I can group. And it's exactly the same with the other cultures and the other tribes. They will eventually split up and join their own, because that is where you find safety. You find safety with the people that you share common ground with. So it's very important to take all of the news around the world and in your area and in your country, and you have to put them together to see where you're heading towards. It's like a ship, okay? The ship has got a specific course, and it knows the dangers along the way. It's got the GPSs and the stuff. So it actually misses all of the danger, the rocks and the sandbanks and what have you, to try and navigate through all of the dangers. And that is exactly the same as being a prepper. You need to see things happening. So the petrol dollar is going to crash because they're going to start selling oil in gold. So the petrol dollar, you're going to be seeing one massive recession, one massive financial collapse in the world, because gold has always been worth more than anything else. It's a physical thing, and a physical thing that you can trade. And this whole Petro Dollar, they print money from nothing. They decide, oh, we're short, let's quickly print it. It's money from nothing. Okay? So when it comes to preparing, and you can see it in the news as well, commodities, things that you can touch, things that you can trade, things that you can eat, things that you can sustain your family from, food, water, okay, blankets, clothing, those are commodities. And in a time of anarchy, in a time of collapse, in a time of depression, in a time of revolution, in a time of tyranny, these are the things that are going to make the absolute difference. And you have to make sure that you start stocking up. Okay, we always say you start with 3 days of food and then you work your way 3 weeks, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. And after 9 months, you have to get to a point where you actually physically start producing yourself, because you can only store away so much food. You can only carry so much food when you have to leave the area where you live, especially in South Africa, in the cities in South Africa, where we have what we call the ring of fire. All of the informal settlements, the poorest of the poor, they're going to come looking for food at your house. So after 9 months, you have to start to actually be able to produce yourself. So a lot of people, from a farmer to you, our community, there's no use of just buying seeds. You actually have to start planting them. You have to see how it works. You have to learn from the mistakes that you make. Otherwise, having seeds, I see people buying seeds and storing seeds, but they have no idea how to actually plant them, look after them, and get them to a phase where they can actually use it. Use it for more seed, use it for food. It's like grains. Maize. Maize is an amazing thing because you can make maize flour from it. You can make porridge from it. There's so many things you can do with it, but so very few preppers actually knows how to use seeds properly. This is South African Prepper. Please like, share, and leave a comment. I'll try and answer you. South African Prepper. God bless.